All right. Well, happy Monday. Let's go ahead and get started. We finished unit 2, not unit 2, we finished unit 1 on Friday. So we are starting off on unit 2 this week for math. So, oh, I forgot to mirror my screen. I knew I was forgetting something. Let me get my screen mirrored here and we'll take a look. I'm in my student activity book, so you should have your student activity books out and something to write with. So you are ready to go. And we'll just start off by taking a quick peek at that letter that they always put in the beginning. That's a letter to your parents, but it's just kind of giving you, I like it because it gives you an overview of what you're going to be learning about this unit. It says, let me let this person in. All right, it says your child has studied addition and subtraction with whole numbers and decimals in past years. So it's not something new. In unit 2, you are going to extend your understanding of place value for decimals. So we did fractions the first unit, now we're moving to decimals. You're going to learn how to add and subtract decimals using methods that you have already learned in the past. And you're going to work on rounding and estimating with decimals. So we're going to do place value, we're going to talk about money. You guys should talk about money with your parents too, because that's going to help you with your decimal math. You're going to use different types of grouping for your adding and subtracting, and just the regular estimating stuff. So, oh, and as always, we're going to solve some real world problems. Amaya, I see your hand is up.
I couldn't get into PE again. Is that a problem?
We'll talk about that later, okay?
Okay.
Okay, so don't worry, I was going to check on PE, so you're good. So I am on page 39 in my student activity book. You should be there with me. And we're going to take a look at fractions and decimals and how they're related and these fraction bars. So can somebody start reading for me this first paragraph?
Fractions and decimals are special kinds of numbers. They tell the number of equal parts a whole is divided into, and the number of those parts that are being taken or described.
Good. So fraction notation has a numerator and a denominator, right? We just did that. We know that. To show a whole divided into, fraction notation, to show a whole divided into a number of equal parts. So we had our whole. This one, they divided it into 4 parts. So we see our unit fractions, 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4. That gets me to a whole. And then 1 part of that whole would be 1/4, right? You guys remember that? We did that. That was pretty much since school started what we've been doing. This one shows us fifths. So we had our 1 whole. We divided it into 5 equal parts. 1/5 plus 1/5 plus 1/5 plus 1/5 plus 1/5 gets us to 1 whole. Or if we took 3 of those parts, it would lead to the fraction of 3/5. Somebody read me this paragraph about decimal notation.
Decimal notation uses a decimal point to show places to the right of the ones place. The 10th place shows 1 whole such the 10th place shows 1 whole such as $1 divided into 10 equal parts. The 100th place shows each 10th divided into 10 equal parts.
Awesome. So decimal notation, we're talking about anything to the right of the ones place. So when we get to the right of the ones place, we have that decimal, and then we get into our decimal things. And those are all things that are less than a whole, right? Because a whole is our ones place. Oh, why is my iPad not charging? Come on. Switch my charger around. You guys do that sometimes when things don't charge? You have to kind of flip your charger around the other direction?
Yeah.
Hopefully.
All the time.
All right. So I also want you to notice when we're talking about these things that are to the right of the decimal place, see how they end with that THS? We have a tens place to the left of the decimals, but when we're talking about the one to the right of the decimals, we add that THS to the end. Just like hundreds place when we are to the left of the decimals, but when we move to the right, we add that THS to the end. So 1/10 is kind of like the fraction, 1/10. And we're taking our whole and we're dividing it into 10 equal pieces. And if this was $1 as a whole and we divided it into 10 equal pieces, how much money would each one of those pieces be worth?
10 cents.
10 cents or a dime, right? There's 10 dimes in $1. Okay. But what if we take one of these dimes and we want to now divide that one dime into 10 pieces?
Pennies.
Pennies.
We get to our pennies. Yes.
1 cent.
There's 100 pennies in $1. So that would be 1/100th. 1 penny or 1/100th of $1. And we write it as 0.01. And that's 1/100th. There's a 1 in the hundredths place. Getting even smaller, if we took a penny and divided a penny into 10 pieces, then we're going to end up with thousandths. We're down to thousandths of equal parts. We don't have that in our money. That would be way too teeny tiny. But think about it. 1 penny divided into 10 pieces gets you to 1,000th, okay? And there's 1,000 equal parts in 1,000th. 1,000th has a 1 in the thousandths place. So it's 0.001. You know what I kind of like? And one thing real quick. Yes, I do require that you put this 0 to the left of the decimal as well. But one of the reasons is when you think about the number 1,000, how many zeros does it have?
3.
3.
When we look at the number 1 or the 1,000th, how many zeros does it have?
3.
3, right? Just like if I had the number 10 and if I wanted to write 1/10, it's the same thing, just backwards, and we just flip that little decimal in there. Or 100 or 100th. So it's the same thing. We're just adding that decimal one place in. Okay, we're just reversing the number for the place value part. All right, let's take a look at page 40. Page 40 has us looking at decimal numbers, and we are we're going to write each fraction as a decimal. Okay, so for the example, 37/100 is 37 hundredths. Okay, so 7/100 would be
0.07.
7.
Yep. And but how would we say that? 700.
700ths.
700ths. And notice we want that 7 to be all the way over in that hundredths place. It's not 0.70, because that would be 70 hundredths. We want that 7 all the way over in the hundredths place. How about the next one? How am I going to write this one?
0.16.
Yep, 16 hundredths. Awesome. How about the next one?
0.4.
Yep. Okay. I'm going, well, hang on. Let me see. Let me look at the rest of these real quick. Yeah, I'm going to put you guys into breakout rooms for like 3 minutes. And I want you to work on finishing this up for those 3 minutes. If you finish, all right, so let's go ahead and I'm going to go through these answers real quick and show you what I got. And you can let me know if you guys have questions. But so for 9/10, it would look like that. 9 is in the tenths place. 5 thousandths. 54 thousandths. 81 hundredths. 409 thousandths. Squeeze it on in there. 2 tenths. 3 hundredths, 16 thousandths, and 67 hundredths. How do we do on those?
I got them all right.
All right.
I for the thousands I did 0.0.
Okay, there's always just the 1 0 in front of the decimal.
Okay, got
Okay.
it. Got it.
I'm gonna skip number 18 for now so I can hop to 19. If you cut a lemon into 10 equal pieces, what decimal would 3 of them represent? Well, that's 3/10, right? And if it's easier to think about it as a fraction first and then change that to your decimal, you can do that too. Bag of pretzels has 100 pretzels. What decimal would 28 represent? So that's 28 hundredths, right? Because it would have been 28 over 100. 5 pretzels would be 5 out of 100 or 5 hundredths. Okay. Beehive is home to 1,000 bees. 235 are out gathering pollen. So 235 out of 1,000. I had to make sure it wasn't tricking me to say how many are left. 235 thousandths. And what decimal number is represented by answering 92 out of 100 questions correctly on a test? That would be, whoops, 92 hundredths. Okay. I know I went through this kind of fast, but this is very much a review from the past couple years. So hopefully I didn't go too fast for you. That's it for the teaching part of the lesson today. For your guys' homework part, you have, get you opened up. It's basically the same exact thing that we did. You have your chart, and they give you a little place value table up here to show you the ones place, which is the dollars, the decimal point, and then tenths, hundredths, thousandths. And you're writing all of these as you would say it as a decimal, and then a couple word problems to do at the bottom. And then the back side is review of fractions, some adding, subtracting fractions. Okay. That's all I have for you guys for right now. It's 9:30, so that's going to give you 30 minutes to work on this. And then also, if you didn't have a chance to get all of your PE done, you can get your PE done then as well. I am going to